Hello, my name is Morris and thank you for joining me. So today is a very exciting day because it is the first day of Axie Origins Season 1. And with it comes with some start of season updates, including getting to pick an epic rune and charm of your choice, more rewards, of course, that's good for everyone, and maybe more SLP burn. If you want to know more, continue watching the video and let's get into all the updates for Season 1. Today I'm going to quickly go through the changes that happens during the start of Season 1. So let's just see what's happening. So there are quite a few changes I think are quite significant. Okay, of course, very good that we always would want more rewards, so we'll get actually a bit more rewards this season compared to last season. So that's one thing. And then yep, so they did add this rock paper scissors thing at the start of the battle, which I feel is a bit of a I don't know. I don't quite like it personally, but it's good to actually think about whether you want to go first or second. Because let's say for my team, I actually like to go second because I like to have more cards. Whereas going first sometimes feels like you have very limited options. So at least for my team, that's how I feel. And okay, let's see. So here are the rewards, which is quite a bit higher, and I quite like the changes where they differentiate the 1k to 5k and then 5k to 10k. So there's a bit of a reason for people to fight once they get, even if they, well, basically last season what happens is that if you have, well, yeah, above 20k, then there's really not much reason to fight unless you are fighting for top 1k. So there's a large bracket of people who doesn't have too much of a motivation to fight, but at this point there is a bit more motivation for more people to fight and get up to get a bit more reward. And of course you see this part where there's rewards for the top 4k as well now, which is pretty good. Okay, and then we'll get these GG stickers, and if you reach which is very easy, check 4, then you get GG sticker. Top 20k you will get an avatar, which is pretty good. And then top 1k, I think this is the one that a lot of people want to fight for, to earn this avatar. So that is really just to show off you got to top 1k a particular season. So always good. Here we have some progression changes as well. So what's happening is that let me see. First, while progressing through your crafting levels, you will sometimes earn a special chest instead of the runes and charms. Okay, so basically you'll sometimes get a chest where the chest is very important. When you open the chest, you will be able to choose from a given set of runes or charms. And the runes or charms will be sealed, meaning it's not an NFT. But then you can use it during a season. So meaning, let's say you get a epic box, what's it called, chest for charms, then you can actually pick an epic charm. So I think that's how it goes, but let me just click on this and see what it says. Yep, so for some particular levels, like level 5 and level 14, let's see here, right? So you get to get these boxes where you get to pick any rare runes or you pick any rare epic runes. So this is the key one, right? This is definitely the one that you want to get to. So you want to get to definitely crafting level 14 so that you can get to any epic rune. So this is pretty big, I would say. For the charms, it's less exciting because they only give you the stats charm, meaning plus stats, as opposed to the bubbles and stuff, right? I think that is what they say. Stats charms refers to the attack, health, or shield, or heal. I think they missed out the heal. I think there should be one about heal. Charms as opposed to the bubbles or feather or all those other charms, but still not bad. I mean, you can get to choose a particular rune, so that is not too bad. And yeah, so I would say that's a good change. So basically, I think what they want to do is that they want people to get to a point where they can get a particular epic rune of choice that they can then build their team around. Okay, then that's pretty good. So disenchanting, however, okay, so this is quite big actually. Disenchanting, runes enchant from previous seasons use less moonshot now, so there's less incentive for people to just disenchant, and you might as well just want to keep your runes and charms from last season or previous seasons just as collectibles. But disenchanting runes and charms that's still active during the season gives you the same results. So if you want to go into it, you can see how it changes, which basically if you enchant the old ones, you actually don't get that much of the moonshots back. So I think that's basically it. I'm not going to go into it, but you can obviously just look at the table yourself. And crafting changes, I think this is quite a big one. So actually the biggest change about season 1 that we haven't talked about is that we've shifted from 30 days for season 0 to about 62 days I think for season 1. And of course that feels a lot better because in season 0, once you get to a point where you can craft any good runes and charms, it's getting to the end of the season already and you can't really sell those off. Whereas now you have a bit more time to get the good runes and charms and also be able to trade a bit more. So I think that's quite exciting. And they actually wanted to drag a bit, I guess, the progression a bit, meaning you unlock the epics earlier, but they delay the mystic until much later. So you have to wait until much later, or we will have to wait until much later to get the mystic. Okay, so here's a quick overview. The utility sockets open earlier, so they actually want you to be able to use epics a bit earlier. Epics or rare, I assume. Advanced crafting unlocks earlier, but it doesn't give you mystic anymore. So basically this just means you can get epic earlier, but then you can get mystic a bit later, because mystic now can only unlock during the master crafting. And I think this is actually one that is very significant that I don't think people talked about, is actually that the SLP for Ronin B actually increases for 25. So for those who want to basically pay more SLP, because usually moonshot is the limiting factor, right? Well, you have to grind the rune shard, whereas SLP you can buy them off the market. So a lot of people will just go for the Ronin B, which requires more SLP. And now you need to pay a bit more to actually get progress faster. And in a way, it's a good thing for the economy where we are burning more SLP, but of course it will cost a bit more, and that might mean that the runes and charms might cost a bit more. But yeah, okay, so interesting to note that the runes and charms also, well, you still need to wait, I think 7 days before you can mint onto Ronin. So that's pretty similar. So if I click into it, then you can see how it goes. If I just zoom in, then you can see that now we have beginners, then we have basics, we have intermediate, we have advanced, and then we have master. So for the big change is basically that for advanced, you don't have any chance of getting mystic, whereas intermediate, you already be able to get epic, but not mystic. Advanced, you can't get mystic, so you have to go until quite late before you can get to the mystic. Even though I say quite late, but 14 actually is quite achievable in maybe a week or two. So yeah, I guess you'll see people grinding very fast to get to 14, then they can try to start to get the epic. The mystic. And interestingly, the master without the Ronin also gives you mystic. I'm not sure if that was the case before, but I'll need to double check. And okay, there's a small change with the Mundus, but don't think that's too significant. Basically, yeah, they just want people to get epics a bit faster, which is a good thing, I would say. Okay, and then balancing, what they say is that they will do it, I think, in about 2 weeks time, approximately 2 weeks. So they plan to devote deploy this patch in 2 weeks instead of doing it right away, just because they did have the Axie cons just now and they want to just get the season going, so they need time to do the balance changes. And yeah, so that, well, they did say that this is the only one that they will plan to do, and there shouldn't be any other balance changes except for bugs fixes. So let's see how that goes. I'm quite excited about the balance changes. And then okay, yeah, so this rock paper scissors thing I'm not a big fan of, but basically before every game now, what you do is you well, basically choose one of these, and then if you win, you get to pick first or second. This can be, I mean, quite good if you actually, if your team or your build actually built around either going first or second, and if you get to choose, that might increase your win rate by a bit. So maybe that actually helps for some teams, not too sure. And then I think lastly is this roadmap that they have, and I'll just quickly go through it. There's actually not too much going on, meaning I think it's pretty similar to what we know already. So test server hopefully will happen soon. Accessories, I think it's basically just cosmetic, meaning I don't think it changes any of the stats. Season 2, sure, it will happen after Season 1. In-app purchases, so this one I think is pretty big, so hopefully they will get that sorted out soon. And then they are actually putting these things in the backlog, so this is the PvP mode. Then I mean, it's probably not too important because not many people play PvP at this point. Onboarding, I think at the moment it's already pretty good, but of course it will be good to have more better onboarding, but I would say also not the most important one. Interestingly, they're putting this in the backlog as the secrets classes body parts, which I think will take a while. So I mean, there's just a lot of cards, a lot of parts, depending on how much they plan to do. So but I think this is the interesting one, right? It's Axie upgrading. This is the one that I'm a bit wary about, because if you can upgrade your body parts, then that just means you would want to keep that Axies, and I'm not sure if that upgrade is permanent, because if it's permanent, then you really have to be very invested in the, say, the team that you have, because you can't just switch around the Axies just because you spend so much resources upgrading a particular one. So, but I think it's a good mechanic in the sense that it does create another Axie sync. So releasing Axie provides you the resources, so that might do something to the economy. But we'll see when it comes. And then draft mode is pretty interesting. I think it will take quite a while. It's basically similar to arena modes in Hearthstone, I assume. I'm not too sure how that works. And then mission, it's always good, right? So there's something to, I guess, fight for. Also keep track of what we've done. So I guess this should be pretty good. And then advanced crafting, I don't know how that's different from the current one. And roguelike game mode, I think will be quite interesting for people who enjoy PvP, PvE, because I think it should be quite good. I quite like the, let's say games like Hearthstone, the PvE part can be quite fun as well for those, especially when you are maybe getting tilted with PvP and just want to switch around and think, still continue playing Axie, but in a different way. So I think that should be quite important to actually also draw players who like more PvE to come to Axie. Okay, and I think that is pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed my video, do consider giving me a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, and use my Lenosian code Morris. Thanks again and have a good one.